Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, we have viewers coming over from the other stream to this one. So we were fighting in the 1365 KvK, so we are taking a little break from that to watch this Osiris League match. Now, we do have a bit more time before that starts. So what we can do here is... So what I'm going to do here is I'm just gonna quickly send my farmers out because I'm fighting in the other account. So this account, the main account, is very much neglected. So what am I doing here? Forgot how to send farmers. All right, sending now. So guys, on this stream, we don't have stream lags or anything. Stream delays, I mean. So because we are not, I guess, live fighting ourselves, we don't have to have a stream delay. So when you ask questions, we can answer straight away. That's a good feeling, finally. Not like, half an hour later. Now that's not on our territory. We just want to farm on our territory because we have our match later on, the Osiris League match. So we don't want our farmers to be out for too long. Okay, so farmers out. That's one thing done. What's the second thing? Second thing is we just want to take a look at our other city. The other KvK. 1365. I want to see how it looks like from the outside. Because we still got another 5 minutes before, maybe even 10 minutes before we need to have a look at the Ark match. So this is the Lost Kingdom. This is how it looks like. There's no lag. This is pretty smooth. And this is where 1365 is fighting. Let's see if I can find myself. Like, I know where I am. This is where I am, my other account. LADUS Gaming, with little power and little kills. So I forgot how to spectate a KvK because we haven't done it for so long because we are only kind of covering our own KvKs. Alright, so this is where we were burning stuff, and the only other area where we are touching 2338 is here, which is where I'm pretty sure we're going to be pushing in pretty soon. But as I said, I'm taking a break. We're just going to observe the Ark match first, and then we're going to go back on a separate stream to, check this KvK out. So this flag is almost done from 2338. This is gonna get burned pretty soon. Is this repairing? This is repairing, but we can start burning soon, and the next burn will kind of take it down. And what's happening down south? We're burning that flag as well. And we're gonna look at the 1875 side. Now 1875, that flag is about to go down, and it does go down. Well, it didn't, but it's gonna, in 2 seconds. Because all you see here, well, actually, when you're spectating, both sides look the same color. It's probably better to look at from inside, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so what's happening on the left? This flag is touching, but I'm pretty sure there's not much action here, no? This is where the other action is. So we have some marches here, but yeah, the action is not that thick here. So JST has their match now as well. So JST match starts in the next 10 minutes as well. So I'm sure JST is gonna take a little break. Our match is at 15. Ooh, I forgot about that. So I don't think I can get back to KvK straight away. So we gotta fight our match, and then we can go fight in KvK. By our match, I mean the 1556 Ark match. When is that? 15 UTC. And that's against OV, so yeah, 2 hours. So we're gonna stream this match for an hour, and then we probably need to, have dinner and go on voice and kind of get ready for our match. But for now, the match that we're gonna take a look at is this. Blackjack versus Live. So 1021 versus LV. Not Live, Lively, I guess. So the home match is going to be pretty good as well. That's very close. And then I think this match is going to be quite interesting. Now you got 1v playing their own kingdom. That's not going to be that much fun, I guess. I don't know. JST is playing 74 NV. I don't know how focused JST is going to be. Actually, 74 NV has 5.4 billion power. Maybe we watch the JST match. I know in the title I said Blackjack and Live, but I don't know why I didn't think it through. The JST match looks like it's gonna be pretty interesting, right? This is not a given victory for JST. Maybe we can switch between the matches. Ragnar, VC versus OV. VC versus OV is 15 UTC. So I'm playing that match, so I can't really stream that. So that one you probably have to catch a stream somewhere else. And this is quite interesting as well in Anubis. 1671, 60 MX. I wish I was whitelisted so that I can kind of, go across matches. Like we can still try. I don't know how lucky we are going to be. Actually, now I'm thinking it may be easier to get in the blackjack match. It actually may be easier to get into the blackjack match. Maybe we should try to click and get into the 1v match. This is very confusing. Yeah, maybe go with the 1v match. Now, you know what we should do? We should click on the events thing and we should look at the bets side of things. And that way you get to know a little bit about their history. So 1021, Ragnar, I have betted on you. From my alt, I betted on me as well, man. Hopefully we get a win. All right, so Blackjack hasn't lost anything. Neither has Live. Blackjack is 3.7 and Lively is 4.3. Kingdom 1021 versus Kingdom 1188. Now the road through the qualifiers obviously has been easy for most alliances, most kingdoms, or most teams, I guess. This alliance over here, RYF, did kind of push in a bit. So this is not necessarily the best outcome from LV, but I mean it's not that bad. Only 24. But then the JST match, 74 NV. I actually forgot that they are that high power. So from Kingdom 1474, this is 5.4 billion power. That's extra 1.3 billion on top of JST. JST is 4.1 only. Now JST always plays seriously, so they had a smooth run through the qualifiers. 74 NV played against JG. JG is the third fighting alliance from 1365, and JG kind of gave them a good run for their money. It's 38 and 33. Now, if you think about that, you kind of feel like that means JST has a much better chance of winning, right? So this is why, maybe this is why we were thinking about the other match, 1021 LV, because I don't know much about 1021. I saw one of their match and I don't know anything about LV. So I think that would be kind of interesting to watch. JST, I'm sure JST is not going to get out of group stages. So we are going to see plenty of JST. But then in between, as in throughout the match, we can try switching around and seeing how, you know, the other matches are going. We can try. But the problem is then we may not be able to get in. And the other match I wanted to kind of watch is this one. 1671 versus 60MX. So 1671 sitting at 4.7, 60MX sitting at 3.9. So that's going to be interesting as well. So there's three sort of matches that I feel intrigued about. Coin 74 NV has a lot of power. Yep, it looks like they have a lot of power, but then the only reason why I thought it won't be that interesting is because JG is JST's little brother. So little brother gave 74 NV a nice run for the last qualification match. 38 versus 33. So if someone does that with JG, shouldn't that kind of be an easy win for JST? Like, I don't know. But this is pretty 50-50 even betting wise. Power closer a little bit in favor of LV, but I saw a 10-21 match and that was pretty decent. So yeah. So viewers on the chat, what do you guys think? Option one is we start with 10-21 and then maybe halfway through we try to get into the JST match, keeping in mind there's going to be always a lot of viewers for JST matches and it's going to be hard to get into the JST match, and I'm not whitelisted so I can't switch easily between matches, I guess. So option one is 10-21 and then try to switch into JST. Option two is watch the JST match for like 15 minutes and then get a feel of how dominant is JST going to be, or whether that's going to be an interesting match, and then switch out and try to watch 10-21. So watching 10-21, like getting into this match, may be a little easier. Now, do they let me pre-register for multiple matches? I don't think they do. When is TR match? So TR should be here. Yeah, they do let you register for multiple matches. So TR match is at 15 UTC, TR versus DN. So that's when I got my match as well, VC versus OV. So we can't really check that. So I'm probably going to see that on someone else's stream or recording later on. Wyoming 10-21, please. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking 10-21 as well, man. Like, that's the plan. That's what I put on the title as well. So don't want to be misleading. So maybe we start with 10-21 and we keep an eye. We keep an eye on the other match. If this stops being interesting, then we try to move into the JST match and see how that goes. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. So we got 2 minutes before we start clicking. So for the 2 minutes, I do different type of clicking. So get all the clicks done here. Wyoming, just for 30 minutes, then you can switch. Yeah. That sounds like an idea. So we start with 10-21, see how 10-21 match is going. And then if it's not that great, then we consider switching to the other match. By other match, I mean the JST match. So 1 minute till we have to start clicking. Oh my god, I haven't done Golden Kingdom. That's annoying. That's like half an hour. 2 accounts combined, that's like an hour. That's like an hour gone. Alright, we still got 1 minute. I'm keeping an eye on the clock as well. Because we know that we need to go into that screen and keep clicking till we get in. Right. All right, we still have 2 minutes left. More stuff to click. I need to do these attacks, but I don't think I want to do them now. Actually, let's go to the match screen now. 1 minute left. Oh, where's the match screen? Sorry, not there. Osiris link here. Click on watch. So less than a minute left, and we try to get into the blackjack match. 1021 versus Leave. 3.7 billion power versus 4.3 billion power. This is the group stage match, no longer qualifiers, so we got 17 seconds. Actually, we can watch this. So when this goes to 0, then we go into watch. And then we try to go in. Almost there. Let's go. Hey, how come it doesn't let me get in? I thought it's gonna say enter. Say enter already. No, can we not get in? Doesn't say enter. Why does it not say enter? Okay, watch. Blackjack. Watch. Alright, we got into the blackjack match. Alright. 1021 blackjack, 3.7 billion power. And we are looking at their cities now, their main players. It looks like most of these guys are Korean. So 1021, we know that it's a Korean KD. I just didn't know that all of them are Korean. So it's kind of like we are looking at JST or 1V. Now on the right hand side, ooh, there's a lot of Korean names here as well. And that's LV from 1188 with 4.3 billion powers. And in the middle, you can see the 1V name as the season champion from last time. Now let's go and click on some of the cities and check out the powers. So what are we looking at? We are looking at BK Love 95, and we're looking at 92, 80, so 94, not 100, 107, 88, 104, 78, 98, 114. So everyone around the 100 mark, but they're not necessarily massive whales here. Does it matter whether you well 140? That's pretty high. 146, that's pretty high as well. Now, does it matter if you have massive whales? In a way, it does, because that means you don't have to heal. Generally speaking, massive power usually means pretty nice equipment as well. Not necessarily though. Not necessarily though. Ragnar, I'm guessing LV to win. I am hoping for 1021 to win because I put bets on them. So LV side 195. So the top guy over there 195 massive whale, 111, 155. So does it look like the players have a little bit more power here? Well, obviously, because as an alliance they have more power. So obviously each of the players here, they have like 10-15 million power over the players on 1021. Ooh, 198, 211. Yeah, there's a lot more power here. Oh, 236, 191, so 193. It doesn't look like LV has to do much of a healing this match. But then this match setting is not necessarily, Ark of Osiris League is not necessarily about power. If it was, JST wouldn't ever win anything. But JST does win a lot because it's not to do with power only. Here we go, Gets coming down. And we see the T1 matches, KvK's running around. Wait, this is John. But then John is obviously not as fast as KvK. So we have two KvK's going in two directions. One from BK Love, the other one that I can't read. And I'm sure we got the same happening on the other side as well. Now, this guy over here with the KvK, he is not doing the hopping. He is trying to go. Oh, nope. Now he's doing the hopping. You guys know why they're doing the hopping, right? Because of the hopping, you get extra boost from some commanders because of the talent tree, and KvK is obviously one of them. And this KvK over here doing the same thing as well. And we got hard push from LV already. Do we have hard push from the other side? No, we don't have any skills from 1021 yet. Is 1021 not going to use hard push? Are they saving the points for the mid fight? Now let's check the rallies. Who is doing what rally? So all four obelisks rallied by 1021, and then LV is rallying the obelisks plus 2 outposts. No, 1021 doing the hard push as well. Are they a little late on the hard push? No, not really, because their rallies just left the city. So the rallies took a while to leave, maybe? I don't know. Feels like they were a little late. But anyways, let's check the obelisk. So LV hasn't taken the bottom obelisk. LV is a little late on taking the bottom obelisk. 151, 134, 133. So these two are at the same time. Now I have to say this is a glitch. No, this is not a glitch. LV actually just took that obelisk. So the LV KvK was a little slow. Red side at the start running a little slow, because if you look at that, the obelisk at the top from blue is 127 and this is 145. That's not the end of the world, but there is a sign of being a little slow. And was LV a little slow with this outpost as well? Yes, it was. Now let's check the marches. Where are the marches going? Do we see the marches going anywhere yet? Is that the lone KvK? Yeah, lone KvK. I'm going a long way. Let's check the marches. Where are the marches going? So blue ideally would be pushing all the way to the desert altar, and I think we do see good call. Remove the MNH, remove the KvK. Yes, thank you. I removed the KvK. Now you can see the minimap. Now LV has a Guan rally going somewhere. I don't know where that Guan rally is going. Where is that Guan rally going? Is the Guan rally going for the obelisk? I'm sure the Guan rally is going to be cancelled. Now on the bottom side, 1021 is going for both buildings. So Shrine of Life, they're doing a heavy push. Desert Altar, they're doing a heavy push as well. Desert Altar, we don't know whether they can make it, but they are doing a heavy push. Now Red is doing a heavy push as well towards the shrine on that side, and Red has already made it to the Desert Altar over here. So advantage to Red for being in the blue Desert Altar and taking the fight on the blue side. So blue, this was closer to blue, so blue probably should have gotten closer or on the other side of the desert altar already, but they haven't. Is Red pressuring the Shrine of Life? No, no one wants that Shrine of Life. I mean, you know, they have some marches going, but not like a lot. This desert altar shouldn't be pressured, and it's not getting pressured. So this Shrine of War, I don't think blue has the ability to pressure it, because blue is stuck at their desert altar. Remove also donation tab. That is a good call as well. Did I take it off? Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. All right. We were streaming KvK, so that wasn't as relevant, but I just took it off now. Ladus can't see score. Now you can. Thank you for that, man. Jedi Mind Gaming. Alright, so blue has more presence here. 7 seconds to go. Desert Altar. Can blue take their 1021 can take their own Desert Altar? They can go in. Have they gone in? Yes, it's blue, so they have gone in. So I think they can start garrisoning it now. What about this Desert Altar? So Red got it. Blue got pushed out of the Desert Altar, but then blue's Shrine of War is probably going to be under pressure. So at the start, in terms of initial points, The only extra building that changed hand is this Shrine of Life at the bottom. So there is a blue garrison inside. Well, it's a Guan, so blue doesn't necessarily. Blue has a Jadwiga. Put the Jadwiga in. Why the Jadwiga is walking away? So rather than the Guan, would you not want the Jadwiga? Arr, what are you doing, man? Put that Jadwiga in there since you brought her in. Is she going back? I don't know what is she doing. Okay. But then when it comes to the desert altar, red definitely has it. And these two buildings, red definitely has it uncontested. And the blue building is securely blues now. The music we got in the background is way too chill. We don't want that. This is better. Right, this is not a very chilled situation. We have a serious Ark of Osiris match in the background. So we want music that has a bit more hype to it. Okay, so the main thing... Ooh, they put a gen. So I was complaining about the Jadwiga. Forget about the Jadwiga. They got a gen. And who do they have? So for forward buildings, gen is the preferred choice. That makes sense. So if that was a YSS, I didn't check the animation. If that was a YSS, that makes a lot of sense. So not just the initial capture points. Blue is gonna start generating points from there. Only 8 seconds to grow. Now at the same token, is red gonna be able to take the Shrine of War from blue? It doesn't look like they can, because blue has a lot of marches around and there's a Zenobia in garrison. Red doesn't have enough marches to take that building. So blue straight at the start getting a bit of an advantage. Now blue is trying to swarm down this Shrine of Life from red, and we got a gen garrison again. And what's the secondary? It's a gen with a YSS. So gen YSS was supposed to be a pretty good pair for Ark of Osiris, and it looks like it is. So I don't think this building is gonna fall. So we are going to start seeing marches going to the middle. But before that, obelisk. So red has managed to take blue's obelisk, and they have again put a gen garrison. So as much as blue has one extra building, if you notice from the minimap, blue has one extra building, a Shrine of War, but then red has an obelisk. Now technically, does having the obelisk mean that much? Well, in a way it doesn't, because the obelisk doesn't give you that many points, firstly. Secondly, the obelisk doesn't actually generate points. I mean, not points, doesn't give you any buff. So if you have the shrines, then you get a buff. So say for example, for not having this buff, well, this is healing speed, not Shrine of Life. I think Shrine of War is the one that matters the most, right? Yep. So troop attack, troop defense. So Shrine of War, if you took that off someone, that means a lot more than taking the obelisk. But taking the obelisk, the one thing that it does is, if you manage to keep the obelisk, then you take away the teleports from your opponent. But I don't think they actually held it for long enough to have an impact. But then whilst all of this is going on and blue is focusing on the building game, look at where red is standing. So LV is making sure that they get the first arc with 3 minutes left. All we see is red marches in the middle. So is blue not contesting for the first arc at all? Well, that kind of feels like it, right? So the marches that blue has, I don't think they're going to make a difference. I think they're going to send some more marches. Well, there's quite a few marches coming in. Now, I was going to praise blue and say that they're doing like a fake in terms of sending marches to the mid, so making red commit to the mid, but not necessarily committing to the mid, maybe playing building games a little bit more, taking some more buildings. But with less than 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes left, it looks like blue is still trying to come in. That's a bit too late. I hope some of them are going to go in a different direction, because with 2.5 minutes left, I don't think you're gonna make much of a difference in terms of mid, will you though? Well, it kind of depends on in how many numbers they come in. Does it look like a flood? It doesn't look like a flood. As you can see, some of those marches got diverted and they're going to the left and to the right. So I don't think they're actually going to the middle. So they're keeping some of the red marches busy in the middle. Now that only makes sense if red stays in the middle. and you take over some buildings. So can blue take over some buildings? Now blue got on the left hand side quite a lot of marches walking towards the desert altar, but then the rally with Joan, okay, is not going to go to... It's going to go to the obelisk. Oh wow, Jedi Mind, if you successfully capture the obelisk, you get 8 extra teleports. Doing this early game before first arc means you get another 8 players teleported on your own obelisk, emptying your starting zone. Was maybe their plan. Yep, that definitely had to be the plan, but then at the same time they didn't, like, you know, manage to capture it, right? I don't think they managed to capture it. Did they? Yeah, no, I don't think they managed to capture it. As in, they didn't manage to switch it over. So the Joan and Nevsky rally is not doing much there. So someone casted Mystical Formation. Who casted Mystical Formation? LV. And LV casted Mystical Formation over here. So is blue actually making a play for the arc? This is so confusing. So with a minute left, blue made a ball here, which was not a big ball. Jedi Man, no, they didn't. Yep, they didn't take the obelisk. But you're right, man. That was probably the plan, taking away the teleports. Now, blue didn't make a big enough ball. But then blue is still fighting in a very awkward spot. This is closer to... This is probably closer to their desert altar as it is to the mid. So I don't know whether they can even make it to the mid. But what it did is there's no red marches around the mid. There's actually blue marches in the mid. All right. So the red marches, the LV marches, they're kind of stuck there fighting blue. But blue, what they have done smartly is they send one player with 3 minutes left to kill the red marches that were around the arc and then maybe capture the arc. Who is going for the arc? There's a cow. Witcher, can Witcher make it? Witcher has 1 second before he grabs it and he can start walking. So can he do it? Can he do it? Can he walk away? He started walking. He's not gonna last too long though. So the arc dropped only a few centimeters away from the mid. And now no one has enough marches in the mid. Probably a little bit more red than blue. This has to be the most confusing mid fight that I have ever seen. So mid fight going on here. So seemed like blue was faking for a little bit, but not really. They did kind of come in, but seeing not enough blue, red probably took their marches away. But at least now it's fully red control the mid. Blue doesn't have any more marches here. But then while they were giving away the arc, or you know, kind of trying to fake the situation with the arc, blue has managed to take over just one building, just one extra sky altar. Is that enough to give up the arc, the first arc? Probably not. If they took at least 2 buildings. Well, speaking of 2 buildings, there you go. That's the second building. So desert altar, the red desert altar now belongs to blue, and on the right hand side the sky altar, the red sky altar, belongs to blue as well. Now that's not a bad trade. If you give up the first arc, then you kind of have to have these 2 buildings at least, and not have this, not just take it for like a second, you have to hold it as well. Now they got a CPO in garrison. Behind the CPO, I hope that's a Flavius. And I should stop saying CPO, it's Scipio. I don't know why I do that. Because habit, because we have been saying that for so long now. All right, so what is LV doing to balance the buildings game? LV has quite a few marches walking towards the sky altar from 1021, but then they don't have a rally coming in with it. Maybe the rally is on its way. I don't know. So does blue have enough presence here to actually hold the desert altar? Not really. Can they hold it on for 1 more minute for the building to turn? 1 minute is a big call. I don't think blue has enough marches to hold it for a minute. The red marches has to start swarming. Some of the red marches are not swarming. Some of the red marches are kind of walking towards, I don't know where they're walking. They're not hitting the building. So are they trying to give the building? Okay, now they're gonna swarm. I think they wanted to, some of them wanted to clear the blue marches. Maybe don't focus on the blue march. Maybe just focus on the building and try to take it back. Blue team, let's go blue team. Yes, no wonder blue team is supporting the blue team. And in a way, I shouldn't, but I'm supporting the blue team as well. And that's not to do with any favoritism or anything, or having like friends or anything. That's to do with I put my bet on them, so I kind of want them to win, and they got a 9,000 to 6,000, so 3,000 point lead. But then the point lead is going to be balanced a little bit. It's going to become a little bit less because blue is about to drop the Ark, or capture the Ark, or score the Ark, however you want to say it. Oh, they're not going for scoring the Ark, they're gonna hold the Ark, so they're going next to their obelisk. Maybe going to the obelisk is not the best idea, because they can kill your march and take the obelisk with the same march if you don't have it garrison. Maybe the Nevsky should go here, like behind a building or something, but I think he's walking next to the obelisk. But anyways, as long as he's careful. Now, you know what we have seen other better, bigger teams do? They drop it, and then they will drop it here, and they will start farming, just so that the march is not sitting idle. But that's a next level play. We're not seeing a next level play here. What we're seeing is a Nevsky being swarmed down. So the buildings advantage that blue had, blue did manage to turn the buildings over. But basically they caused a disruption, but at the same time they haven't managed to hold on to the building, and they lost one of their buildings as well, one of their important buildings. So the blue sky altar belongs to red now. So I was saying that we didn't see a rally coming in, but we saw a lot of marches come in. So just with the marches, red has managed to take over that building, and blue doesn't have enough marches here. So red actually has more marches around the red sky altar, I mean the blue, their own sky altar, than red. So red's not only going to turn this over, they're probably going to get some points out of it as well. So other than this building though, everything on the minimap kind of looks even. So we're just going around the map to see what kind of action do we see. So we got a Herald and Pakal rally. Now that's an extremely useless rally in terms of an Ark of Osiris situation, in my opinion. It doesn't do enough damage. Like, who is gonna what does your counter attack damage even do in this scenario? Nothing. So that's a waste of troops stuck there. So from a blue point of view, that's not a bad thing. Now again, Pakal and Herald. So guys, is this a thing? Herald and Pakal rallies in Ark, is that like a new thing that we don't know about? Is that something that we should have known about and we just don't? Because we don't see this in high level, right? Like, seriously? Or I'm just a noob who doesn't know what the new meta is. Could be either, it doesn't matter. Let's see what blue is doing. All right, blue's rally over here, XY and Nevsky. That's more like it. Even if it was Attila and Nevsky, even that would make sense. And you got the Jan and YSS garrison. So Jan and YSS garrison is actually probably gonna hold on. So the rally life is pretty low. Well, we don't have reinforcements coming in for this building either, so we don't know. Now I think the building holds. So Jan and YSS working pretty well against the XY and Nevsky. For Osiris at least. Now red didn't go and reinforce that building because they knew they're probably gonna keep that. So they're going for a swarm on the desert altar. And the Shrine of Life is under pressure as well. So as much as I was saying Pakal Herald doesn't do a thing, but then this building may not have had enough reinforcements sitting behind. So we do see the Herald and Pakal taking down that Zenobia garrison. So a lot of buildings are under attack by red, and one of them just turned over. So red is sitting, keep in mind, red is sitting on the Ark as well. So you're gonna get some points out of that Ark any time now, and they are pretty close to maybe taking this desert altar as well. Now blue has managed to take over their own desert altar, which was red earlier. And are they trying to push out? Yep, they are trying to push out. Now we see a lot of zone primaries in this match, a lot of zone primaries. Is that a thing? I thought you used Nevsky zone, not zone Nevsky. Actually that's for KvK. For Ark, maybe zone and Nevsky is not a bad thing, right? Maybe it's not a bad thing. Yeah, actually, maybe it's not a bad thing. because of the skill, I mean, sorry, the support tree. Maybe. Either way, there's some fighting going on here, but it doesn't look like it's going to lead to anything because both sides has equal numbers. I don't see a rally coming in. There are a few marches they're sacrificing against the Jan garrison. So blue has a blue is favoring Jan garrison in few different places. So is red. Oh, we got the rally coming in. Finally, we see a non-Pakal Herald rally. It's going to be Henry and Nebu for sure. Now that the rally is going, maybe they can switch this building over. Taking a look at the top. So this garrison was pretty low and one march just went out of the garrison at the Shrine of War, and you got a XY and William trying to solo a Jan. That's probably not a good idea. The Sky Altar is under attack as well, and the XY rally just lost, and we got a Jadwiga here and a YSS. So this wasn't Jadwiga and what's his name, Jan. So guys, we are seeing a lot of Jan. We are seeing Jadwiga as well, but we're not actually seeing Jadwiga and Jan being used together. So I guess that's not a thing for Ark either. So that's what we found out in our Ark testing as well, but I didn't know whether, you know, our findings is going to be the same as other teams. Pakal Herald again. I mean, seriously, is that going to win this? No, that's not going to win this. Over here, we had the Henry rally going on. Henry against Jan, and what's the secondary? It looks like it's a YSS. Yep, it's a YSS. So Jan and YSS is definitely going to take care of that Archer rally. The Archer rally doesn't have a chance against Jan. Archer rally just doesn't work against Jan. So is that why they were going with infantry? Well, infantry doesn't kind of do well against Jan either. So it's only Cav that I think from our testing showed that does pretty well against Jan. Now there's going to be some swarm going on, but then the garrison should have enough. Now 5 minutes left till the next arc spawns, and there's a points advantage for blue at the moment. We're looking at 12,900 points versus 9,500 points from red. So with 5 minutes left, this is when we will see marches coming in. Now blue didn't play the first mid fight seriously. They did not go for the arc. Hope we see blue making a better push for the arc. Now not only the blue team, we see the red team using Joan primary as well. Well, that Pakal rally is, or Herald rally, Herald Pakal rally is getting reinforced, but even then I don't think they have this, and they don't have enough marches to swarm. Blue has just as many marches. Now what is this rally? XY. So I think I'm gonna say that I like blue's rallies and garrisons a little bit better. I think the combinations they're using. Alright, we are 33 minutes into the match, and I was kind of thinking about going and checking out the JST match, but I think this match is pretty interesting. I'm sure someone else is covering the JST match. So as much as I'm kind of eager to see what's happening there, I'm sure that you guys are as well. But then after this match, or when we feel like this match is over, we can check the score and we can see the replay of a stream later as well. But I think for now, I'm going to stay focused on this match because this match is going pretty well. So the XY and the Nevsky against the Jadwiga and YSS. The Jadwiga and YSS should probably win in this case, because there are red marches around, but the red marches, rather than going into the garrison, they're, I don't know where they're going. They're going for the shrine. Ooh, click too far away. They're kind of going for the pressure rather than trying to defend this building. And blue is swarming the building pretty heavy. And blue, as if you notice, blue has brought in a garrison march as well. Now they probably shouldn't be fighting with the garrison march. That's a Jadwiga and YSS. They should probably leave that march alone. Yep, finally they're doing that, because if you get the building, you gotta put that in. Lord Mercy, stay in this match, please. Thanks for streaming. My bet is on 1021. Hey man, we're on the same page. My bet is on 1021 as well. MNH, Pakal Herald is to kill the swarming marches more than taking the structure. Red depends on their own swarm to take building. Yeah, but then it's just not doing enough damage, right? And then because it's not doing enough damage, like blue doesn't have to swarm it, I guess. So blue wasn't successful in taking that building. Well, at least still not successful. And the Jadwiga is pretty low health and she's going back. Now we should probably look at the middle and see what's happening in the middle. So buildings wise, it's not really even. You got one extra altar in red's favor. So blue really needs to push in for the mid fight now. Actually, sorry. Red was, so sorry, mid fight doesn't start straight away because the timer we were looking at, it was to do with the 8 minutes that, what's his name, red can hold on. So red just scored the Ark. So that's why the point went up for red, and the point balance now is sitting at 14,900 versus 14,700. So very close, 300 points match with red having an extra building. Now we should really check the Ark timer, and that's 7.5 minutes. Now blue took their building back. There's a lot of red marches. These marches are probably going to go back sad-faced. In terms of the Ark marches though, in terms of the marches, like we're not seeing anything exceptional. It's pretty usual. The only exceptional thing that I think I would say is there's a lot more Joan primary than I thought there would be. So maybe for Ark, Joan and Nevsky works better than Nevsky and Joan, maybe, because we see a lot of Joan primaries here. And the other thing worth mentioning is there's a lot of Gen and YSS in the field. MNH, red timing is off. They're really moving well with their rallies. Red's timing is off. Yeah, could be. They're not. Yep, that makes sense. They're not necessarily. So there again, you see the new commander Jen in action. And is it Jen and who again? YSS, is it? Yes, YSS, Jen and YSS. So Jen and YSS seems to be the common choice for this Ark match. And there are is that a rally? No, that's not a rally. That's just a... Okay, so that's a new one. So we got a Jen and Joan and YSG. Joan and YSG solo hitting. It was a full march solo hitting a Boudica garrison. Wow. Okay, we got a more standardized action going on here. So you got the Jadwiga in garrison and we get few marches coming in. Now again, we don't necessarily see a rally coming in. It's probably going to be done just by a swarm, but they didn't come with enough marches to be able to swarm it down a proper garrison. Red has some marches around, blue has some marches, but not outnumbering red as much. Now we do see red kind of going into the middle. So red has started going in with 5.5 minutes left. They're taking a forward position. So they started going to the middle a little early compared to other teams. Usually teams kind of start going there when it's around the 5-minute mark, and they get there when there's 4 minutes left. So they got there in their advanced position with more than 5.5 minutes left. Now usually what that translates to is blue taking over extra buildings. Now blue did take over one extra building, but that's a Guan garrison. Now where is that Jadwiga that was walking around? There we go. Prior is coming with the Jadwiga. See how I knew where to look? Because I saw him going to refresh and he came back with a healthier march. So they're gonna keep, this is a good thing because now it means that they're gonna keep this building whilst the mid fight is going on. Taking a Jadwiga off that building is gonna be a bit of an effort. All right, now these marches, that was such a waste because that kind of didn't achieve anything, and now they're trying to kill off these marches so that they can go back. Why they cancel the rally is actually, maybe it's a good idea canceling the rally. You know why? Because the rally would take longer to die, but individual marches, they will die faster. So breaking up the rally and then hitting the building, you will do it faster. They actually thought they can take the building because that behind that Zenobia, they actually got a Theo. So they actually thought with the Pakal and Herald and Pakal, they can take the building. But anyways, so we got this weird strategy going on again from blue. So they're not gathering. Where is that to counter the red strategy of taking such a forward position? Or is that, like, I don't know, they're doing two balls. So there's one ball on the right, there's one ball in the middle from blue. And the ball is late regardless. So they have a 17,400 to 16,700. So roughly about 1,000 point lead, very roughly, but then that's not enough to compensate for losing one more arc. Now, again, blue has done a good job with the building. So not only they took one of the altars on the right hand side, they took the desert altar over here as well. So both sky altar and desert altar from the red side belongs to blue now, and looks like they're gonna hold on to it because red doesn't have enough marches to take the building back. I kind of hope they have a better garrison to go in though, because that way they keep the building for a little bit longer. So trying to hold it with a booty cup, maybe not the best idea. But then more importantly than that building, look at the marches here. Red definitely has a lot more marches. Now, the little mistake that red, I would say, made last time was they needed to leave few arc carriers behind and maybe a few marches behind, so that when blue comes in on from the side to take the arc, they can kind of defend it. Hopefully red kind of does it here now. Like, I don't know why some of the marches, full health marches, are going back. They think they have more in the middle than they need. That's how it looks like. So blue is actually going back. Blue is actually going back. So the blue marches on the right hand side, they're being pushed back heavily. So in the middle, like, it's hard to say that red is in the middle now because red is not. They left the middle lane. They're going towards the right hand lane. Everyone's walking to the desert altar. So more so than the arc, they're closing to the desert altar now. All right, they're coming back. They're coming back with 2.5 minutes left. We do have red coming back. And what happening? MNH, JST is ahead by 6k. JST, all right. So now we feel better about not watching that match because we expected JST to be ahead. So JST is ahead, and this is more neck and neck. We got 18,900, 17,300, but then I don't know whether blue is going to play Ark of Osiris properly. What are you doing, blue? There's a thing called a mid fight. That's what we kind of, expect you to do, not do like a side fight next to the desert altar. And this is definitely not enough marches to take care of the red marches. I don't know what blue is doing. Is blue thrown off by what red did, as in taking up such a forward position so early, or is that blue's strategy naturally? Like, do a ball later and try to push in. Less than a minute left for the arc to spawn. Now, if you look around, the altar that blue had here, they didn't put a garrison. They had a Boudica here, so obviously this one fell faster. So even if you take a forward building, you need to make sure that you send a proper garrison. And on the other hand, on this side, this building is still standing because you got a Jadwiga. Now you got a rally coming in. We don't know whether the sky altar is full, but if regardless whether the sky altar is full or not, they got few extra marches here, so it may not be possible for the Attila Nevsky to take that. Actually, probably not, especially because of the swarm. Now, someone used Mystical Formation. Who used Mystical Formation here? Blue used Mystical Formation, and you got War Drums from red. And this is the Arc fight, guys. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this. The Arc fight is taking place next to the desert altar. And what's happening where the actual Arc is, just like we were saying this time around, red was smarter, and red actually left few marches, not only to capture the arc, but then to guard the arc as well. And blue did try to send some stinky marches, and they're not necessarily going to catch up. So red actually has this. MNH, Nanvi is ahead by 1k against 1v. I think that's going to be a close match. Like, I'm not trying to say that that's a fixed match or anything. But then if I had to put money on it, I would say that it's going to be a very close match. And probably Nanvi is gonna win this. Because if you wanted to fix the match, Nanvi winning makes more sense. But then I'm obviously not thinking they fixed a match. I mean, 1v takes 1034 takes Ark very seriously. So it's probably naturally close. Alright, so the Ark carrier is going away. Now the Ark carrier is being chased by an XY, and it doesn't seem like some of the red marches can catch up to the XY. So that before the XY goes down, the KvK, the Ark carrier, is probably gonna go down, and that's to do with the Ark carrier taking a lot more damage and being really slow. But either way, whether that march goes down or not, red has other marches around to kind of protect that, and then now the XY went down, so the KvK is in the clear. And it's not like this building is under a lot of pressure. I mean, there's a Joan and Nevsky rally against the Jan and YS's garrison, and it actually looks like the rally is doing pretty good. So this is something we haven't tested, so I can't really comment on it, but I have a feeling that that's to do with the rallies, garrison not being full, firstly. Secondly, maybe the Joan and Nevsky does a lot of damage if it's not swarmed or anything. Like, that's not particularly a tanky rally, so that has to be swarmed. Alright, so the rally survives. I mean, sorry, the garrison survives, but then the rally definitely did pretty good. Like, you kind of felt that was a strong rally, right? Maybe the Desert Altar wasn't full. But anyways, so the second Ark is safely next to the obelisk, is it? Or are they scoring it? I can't see the Ark carrier. Did they score it? Did they just score it? I think they just scored it. Yes, they did. Look at the score. So the score is 22,600 versus 22,100. So still neck and neck. Still neck and neck. When it comes to the buildings, one extra building still in favor of blue. And you know why? That's to do with having that Jadwiga put in place. Now, this is not the same Attila Takeda rally that we were looking at earlier. This is like a second Attila Takeda rally, because that other rally wouldn't have survived this long, obviously. So it took multiple attempts to take that building back, and that's why having that Jadwiga in the forward building definitely made sense. It's a pity that blue had this building here, the Desert Altar, and they did not manage to put a proper garrison in there. Now, we do see a lot of marches going to the middle. You know why? Because they scored the Ark and they want to secure the third Ark. Now, if they get the third Ark, then victory for red is 100% secured. Ooh, would you say 100%? Actually, I shouldn't say 100%, because you know why? Between now and then, red can lose more buildings, but they're actually going for middle with 7 minutes left. So you see all these red marches going to middle. So is blue gonna play Ark of Osiris without actually playing for Ark of Osiris? I think that's how it's gonna be. So there's a rally now that's still like, is that still like a Pakal Herald rally, or is that not the rally? No, that is still the rally. So Pakal Herald is still the rally of choice for the top lane for the red team, and obviously it's not going to achieve anything, and blue is going to keep that building. But then now all of these blue marches are like low health, so they kind of need to go back and refresh. Now the situation that we're going to have in the middle is, now by the time they come in, by the time blue gets in for the middle fight, which is at a decent time, maybe like 4 minutes, 5 minutes before, 4 minutes before the Ark is about to spawn, that's when blue will get there. But by the time blue gets there, they're gonna find red sitting in the most advanced position possible. That's like the most advanced position possible. Now this time around, blue has some more marches going in, so blue probably learned from the first two arcs, and they're making sure that this time around they do not go for that strategy of not pushing in for middle. So this time around blue has to push for middle, because blue doesn't have a numbers or points cushion to make up for losing this arc. Every single arc, every second arc, or every next arc, or every arc as you progress, they give you more and more points. So the third arc is going to give more points, and blue this time around doesn't have an extra single building. So now no one's going for any of the buildings, so it's going to be 50-50 with 2,000 points difference. Now 2,000 points or 1,500 points. The arc is 3,500 points. Is the third arc 3,500? I think the third arc is 3,000. The first arc is 3,000. Is it 4,000? What's the third arc point, guys? Someone in chat. Such a noob caster. I forgot what's the third arc. Is it 3.5 or 4? But either way, it's more than the points difference now. Gathering wise, I don't know. I don't believe in gathering too much. I don't think gathering points for either team is going to be a lot. I did see red gathering quite a bit. I didn't see blue gathering a lot. So what's going to happen here is, unless blue gets this arc, blue loses. And if red gets the arc, I mean, if blue gets the arc, then they win. The easier way to say that sentence is whoever gets the arc wins. Yep, pretty much whoever gets the arc wins. We still got 1,500 points difference. Now 3.5 minutes left. Now blue's ball is a little bit better this time, a lot less than red's ball though. Blue is still kind of getting there. Blue is still sending a lot of marches in, but then red is probably not going to allow blue to ball up. So what time do you think red's going to push in? So maybe when it's 3 minutes. Red's going to wait for some more marches to come in. Yep. So these marches comes in the next like 30 seconds maybe, or 20 seconds. And that's when red's going to push in, and red should, because blue has still numbers coming in. So you want to take on your opponent now when they are still low in numbers. Now we are probably going to see to the death from both teams. Heavenly Grace, maybe they wouldn't have as much points, because for the previous arcs they did use both war drums and mystical formation, and one of the teams actually used hard push in the middle somewhere. So I think red used hard push. So blue may have some extra points compared to red. Who is winning? Ragnar. Oh, it's hard to tell, man. It looks like whoever gets this arc wins. And this is quite confusing, because look at where the arc fight is taking place. Red has a much more forward position. So red didn't push in. I think red should have pushed in by now, but then we are looking at 2 minutes left. Maybe they push in when it's 2 minutes left. Red doesn't have a lot more marches come in. So I don't think they should be waiting for the other marches to come in before they push in. Are they engaging? They're kind of trying to engage. Does blue have as many marches they should have? Or does blue have more marches coming in? Not really. So blue is the one engaging. Let's zoom out and let's see the number of dots. Now the number of dots kind of look even. I think it kind of looks even. It looks like red has more, but the blue side is more stacked. Who is red and blue? 1021 is red and LV is... 1021 is blue and LV is red. Now LV went in and we got to the death, war drums, everything popping in at the same time, and red was the one that pushed in. We got Heaven's Grace coming in from blue as well. I have a feeling blue may have this. And I'm shocked at how I'm not getting disconnected, because it's only 30 people playing here, so 60 in total. Well, I may have been wrong, because do you see more blue marches walking back? I think, well, we saw a bunch of blue marches going back sad-faced. Now we do see some red marches going back sad-faced. Now, who is there at the Ark spawn location with a minute left? There's a couple of red guys standing there, but then as much as we see more blue marches going in, for some reason when I look at the middle area, it feels like there's a lot more blue alive. Or am I kind of seeing what I want to see because I put money on blue? By blue I mean 1021 again. So the blue ball is moving towards the middle. There's few marches from blue that has actually made it to the middle with 15 seconds left. They're gonna kill the potential arc carriers from red. The buildings game is still even because both sides have the exact same buildings. Now, one other random thing that we didn't see in this match is no one bothered each other's outposts. So there was no outpost play. Now the Ark has spawned. I definitely see more blues around the Ark side, at least. Even on the left, this is probably more blue. Well, we did probably call this right. So blue did win the mid fight and blue is walking away with the Ark. There isn't enough red marches. There's 11 minutes left in the match. If blue gets the Ark, red doesn't come back from this, I would say. If red gets the Ark, blue doesn't come back. Whoever gets the Ark, everything depends on this Ark. So red with that, LV with that new strategy of taking a very advanced position really too early. It kind of doesn't look like it paid off this time. And in a way, from that strategy, we expected blue to take over more buildings, which kind of didn't work out that way either. But either way, blue kind of pulled it home at the end. We got 2pay walking away with the Ark with an XY, and all we see around here is blue marches now. Now, should red come back and try to go for the Ark? I don't think red has a choice other than that, right? Like, in a way, you can say that you got 11 minutes left, you can push for the buildings, but getting the buildings now in 11 minutes, you wouldn't generate enough points to turn this over because red is already behind on points. So it's not just the Ark points, they have to make up for the 2,300 points that they're already behind. Now there are 2 buildings that are blinking as well. Blue has just taken over 2 buildings from red here. So other than fighting in middle, because now red has to go all in for middle, blue took the advantage and blue took over the Desert Order and Life of Shrine, and they are about to take over. Are they? Yes, they are. So that's, so see, I like blue rel is better. So that's more traditional. You got Nevsky and Joan rather than Joan and Nevsky, but either way, that is going to take that over. So all 4 buildings on the red side is gonna belong to blue now. Now, I think even with taking the Ark, I don't think even with taking the Ark, red can probably win now. Not that they're taking the Ark. They have gone in all in though. Now, the question is, can there be like a sneaky? They're going towards that outpost. Is it possible to do a sneaky where a couple of marches from red and goes and takes the outpost? Because the garrison just came out. Garrison, go back. And that's not a good garrison either. That's actually a Joan. That's not a proper garrison. So we got few marches actually going for that outpost. Now, should blue be going for that outpost, or there's 8 minutes left? Should blue try to go for, you know, the obelisk or something? I don't know. In a way, I would feel safer if I was blue, if I was going for my starting area rather than this outpost. Going with the Ark with the outpost nowadays is more of a risky play, and there is a lot of red coming in. Like, if I zoom out, I see a lot of red. And even on the field, you see. Now, the thing with the red marches are most of the red marches actually came back refreshed. So they're going to have a decent amount of health. Now, we want to keep an eye on the outpost as well. Red got mistake in the end. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen, man. So, you know, firstly, they should take the outpost. And blue shouldn't really try to go for that building. Now, the thing is, if blue was walking towards their starting area, if they started walking toward their starting area, whether they capture the Ark or not, they still win because they got a lead in the building game, the points game, right? So, in a way, no one capturing the Ark is not the end of the world for blue. But red capturing the Ark is the end of the world, and red is making that final play. Now, as we predicted, red actually took over that outpost. Now, blue should have put a better garrison there in the first place. It shouldn't have been Joan. But regardless, they got the building now. Now, blue is sending more marches, and blue is going to take that over. Now, the thing is, the fighting is taking place nearer to the blue side, so dead marches from blue can get refreshed faster. But then still, oh, the Ark is moving now. I don't know who is moving that direction. Is it in blue's favor to take it that way? Is it in red favors? Who knows? But either way, the Ark is going towards that direction. But if you were red, think about it. If you were red, would you not take it in that direction as well? Because with 7 minutes left, it's not like you can take it back all the way to your starting zone. So even if you are red, you'd be pouring marches in to take the outpost and try to put the Ark there. So both teams has the same goalpost. Now blue is showing a bit of a smartness here, and they're no longer going for that outpost because we saw the Ark moving a little bit towards the right. I don't know whether you noticed the Ark was a little bit towards the left. Now it's going a little bit towards the right. But then I think we got panicked a little bit too much. It did look a little panicky for a while, but then now all the red has been cleared, and very smartly, blue is taking 10-21, is taking the Ark to their starting zone. So they didn't go for the risky outpost play. Even going for the desert altar could have been a little risky, but the safest area is go towards your city. Now that Ark March is coming back. Were you coming back? KvK came back for like 2 seconds. You know why KvK came back? Because KvK, or that KvK guy, has few more marches. He was trying to hit another march, and then the KvK took that command as well, but KvK is walking away safely. Can someone catch the KvK now? No one can catch the KvK now. All right, LV going for Insatiable Desire. Is it a bit too late? It is definitely too late. So in the last 5 minutes, you're not gonna get 5,000 points from gathering, or 7,000 points, 7,000 plus points from gathering. Not gonna happen. Not KvK, but Chow Chow, bruh. Isan. I don't know. I say things how Ronnie say things, man. I saw Ronnie and Dragothian say these words. That's why I learned it the way I learned it. Now 10-21 going for Insatiable Desire as well. All right. So this is gonna be a farming last 4 minutes. All right, I feel drained. That was very exciting. That was very nerve-wracking. The way the both teams kind of went for the mid fights, a very unique, not traditional meta at all, and we got to see a lot of new rallies and garrisons and open field situations that we typically don't see in Ark matches. Now I don't know whether there's going to be meta or not, because this is the first match we are watching post having new commanders. Now red is doing a decent job in terms of taking over some more extra buildings, but this is definitely not enough with 3 minutes left. Now guys, I know that you're all gonna log out in like 3 minutes when the match is over. So before the match is over, you enjoyed a very entertaining Ark of Osiris match. For that, for the teams in question, and for the commentator talking non-stop for an hour, don't forget to drop a like. And if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, please do a subscription. Otherwise, we kind of find it, you know, questionable why on Sunday night we are talking about Ark of Osiris rather than spending time with families. So make that time worthwhile. Yep, so red is now pushing for buildings. This is the first time they have taken over, and anyone actually has annoyed with the outpost situations. All the blue buildings are under pressure. Now, if blue doesn't even defend any of the buildings, if everything turns red, even then, I don't think it makes a difference. But red used the hard push skill smartly. And because they're, you know, taking over some of the buildings now, using hard push and helping with the conversion of color definitely helps. Thanks for the stream, Wyoming. You're welcome, man. Also, Baba playing in OL. Yes, Baba is playing OL. Lord Mercy, you gonna stream VC56? No, man, I can't stream VC56 because I'm gonna be playing in that match, so I can't stream that. Gatra, it's over. Isan, I should say. It's over. Congrats, Blackjack. Yep, it is pretty much over. Congratulations to Blackjack and congratulations to everyone that, that put money on Blackjack. And that includes myself. So if you watched our video on what bets we are putting in, you may have noticed that we put a big chunk on 1021 Blackjack. So it feels good to see that come good. Lord Mercy, thanks for the stream. Well commentated. You're welcome, man. Thank you for being here. So I know the 13 UTC, at 13 UTC, there were quite a few matches. JST playing, and you got 1v playing, and then I'm pretty sure there's quite a lot of people streaming as well. So I really appreciate you guys being here and watching this match with us. So 1021 and LV, none of them are really big names. So the fact that you put your trust in our choice of matches is much appreciated. And thank you for staying through the match with us. And we got less than a minute left, and that Pakal Herald situation doesn't change. LV is still going with Pakal Herald. You think you're gonna take this building? Actually, maybe they will take this building, but that's more so than Pakal Herald. All these, you know, marches swarming, so maybe they will turn it over. And congrats for KvK. Call KvK, not Chow Chow. Hey man, you call it Scipio as well. Do you call it Scipio, which you should? I think we all got bad habits, and you know what? Thanks for pointing out. We should kind of work towards saying these things, these names properly, rather than, you know, however we think we should say it. I don't know. So actually, finally, LV did manage to take that building over with the Herald Pakal rally, but it's a bit too late. With 1 second left, this is definitely gonna be a LV victory. Most valuable player, LV, Yon. They actually played pretty good. I mean, LV, what they went with in terms of Ark strategy, that was unique. That did throw off 1021 quite a bit. But then 1021 came good in the end. So just checking the score, 1021, 40,400 versus 34,122. So the match was very competitive till the last 5 minutes of it. Ark of Osiris score, the last card does give you 4,000, not last card third. So it's 3,000, 3,500 and 4,000. And the 3,000 and 3,500 points went to LV for the first two arcs. And then Occupation, Blackjack did play a better buildings game. They had the forward altars held for much longer, especially the Sky altar with the Jadwiga. Provision, both of them kind of did even. Now, Provision is really not a thing nowadays anymore, it feels like. Total kills, very similar. Save wounds, very similar. Units healed. Obviously, 1021 had to heal a lot more, and that's to do with a number of their players being around the 80 to 100 million mark, and LV didn't have to heal as much, and that's to do with, you know, them having more bigger whales. But again, guys, you just saw a match where having a lot more whales doesn't necessarily win you the match. As much as both of them tried new things, good strategies, maybe it felt like 1021 was a bit more coordinated, and that helped. They even switched out one of their players to get a new player in, did they? No. Either way, the match is done. Just insane. Language is not about being correct, it's about understanding each other. You're right, it's about expressing ourselves and being understood. MNH, NanV1. Guess what, MNH? During the match, what did we say? What did we say? Who is gonna win? Didn't we say Nanvi is gonna win? And I'm on the screen, I can't see what happened. But I thought Nanvi was gonna win, and I thought Nanvi was gonna win by a very small margin. Did they win by a small margin? Because Nanvi winning by a small margin is the best thing that can happen for 1034. So I was kinda sure that was gonna happen. But anyways, guys, thank you for being here. Now, no point Actually, I was gonna say no point dragging on, but I want to see the scores. MNH, I put 1.5k on NV. Good call, man. You read that very well yourself as well. So what do we want to do? We just want to check the scores around the 13 UTC matches, and then we'll call it a day. Now, watch. Is it still going to be under watch? It is still under watch. What happened here? House of Madness decided not to play? Like, seriously? Wow. Isan, see ya, bro. Thank you. You're welcome, man. So, House of Madness 1429 just didn't show up. All right. Blackjack versus LV. We watched that, and that was an exciting match. 1v lost by the smallest margin to NANV. Yeah, very much predicted. Justice won. JST won against 74 NV, and that's 5.4 billion power versus 4.1 billion power. But then obviously it's expected that JST wins. That was a very close match here as well. 44S versus Peak. Peak won again by like the smallest margin, exactly 1000 points. So that was Kingdom 1044 versus 1306. Now we want to check Anubis. Didn't they have a 15 UTC match? Yeah, 13 UTC. Yeah, they had quite a few. Ooh, I was going for 1671. 1671. Very close match, this one as well. They lost by the smallest of margins as well. So less than 1000 points. MX1. 60 MX1. Congrats to them. That's from 1960. Well, 1960 obviously has very strong teams. 1671, I love this kingdom a lot. Like, they fight very well. But they came very close to winning. But anyways, it is what it is. Did I know much about the matches in Bastet? I have no idea about the matches in Bastet. So I actually think 06H's High Hopes is meant to win, and they obviously, you know, won by a lot, even though the power was very similar. DQ1 versus BT. FCK1 versus 34. NGRP, they were a good team from last time. They didn't win. CPFW won against 39 OW. That's kind of expected as well. Now, there's one other match where I did put coins, and this is this one. 61 OT versus CPLW. So I really want CPLW to win. CPLW is from 2386, very impressive kingdom, and CPFW is like their first team, and that was the second team. So the first team won by a lot. And then let's take a look at Sobek. Like, I'm just trying to get to know the names so that when we have to bet next time, we make good decisions with our betting. Like, I kind of don't know these matches. Now, all the other matches are at 15 UTC, is it? Or, like, what's happening here? How come there's no score? Or did they not play? Fame. Fame is definitely playing at 15 UTC. They're not an early UTC team. I hope they win. Okay. Ragnar, who won? I missed it. Hey, man. So this is the outcome. 1021 won. 40k versus 34. So Blackjack finally managed to get the last arc. All right, guys. So thank you for being here, calling it a night. And we're obviously going to be streaming quite a lot of KvK Action, 1365, 1556, wherever I'm fighting. And we're going to be streaming quite a lot of Osiris League Action as well. So if you haven't already, please drop the like button and subscription so that you can continue watching all the content with us. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.